screen around um to do the cards, but I intend for this message to be a short message, okay? And so this is going to be a little bit different than yesterday's message. I don't really have any type of disclaimers about this particular message for today, okay? And as I channel or I get downloads, if I feel that I need to put a disclaimer up, I will. I kind of like that. I like the disclaimer. Maybe it serves for me. For me, I think that I like the disclaimer or putting a disclaimer up because for me, a lot of times we do things, it's not all ambivalent. The things that we do are not always ambivalent things as it relates to other people. It is by the virtue of doing an ambivalent thing for oneself that it benefits or it is ambivalent for someone else. It is by doing an altruistic thing for oneself, meaning a thing of good without an expectation of a return. And people would be like, how in the hell can you do something good for yourself without an expectation of return? Well, think about it in this concept, okay? If you have seen the movie Interstellar, okay? Think of the movie Interstellar, and if you haven't, I'm going to try to make another reference. So just bear with me. And all of this, again, is doing something altruistic for myself. And if those who are listening benefit, that even amplifies the goodness I'm doing unto myself even more. So think of if you've ever seen a movie Interstellar, and instead of seeing Matthew McConaughey's character as speaking to Murphy, okay, which he named Murphy after Murphy's Law, okay? In seeing the movie Interstellar, right? And we pay attention to this character as if they are the same person, okay? Let's think of it from that perspective, and maybe this will help you connect to it, because in the scene where Matthew McConaughey's character gets absorbed with Taurus, this Autobot, or a kind of robotic assistant, he is lost in a black hole, and in this there's no sense of time. All time and space in this vacuumed place of a black hole. And matter of fact, as we're talking about this, let me do this. Let's get us in the mood, okay? Sometimes you got to do a little foreplay before you stick it in, right? So let's look this up. Speaking of holes, what is a black hole? Okay, if I had to give you a disclaimer, there may be sexual innuendos, okay? That may not be sexual, but they are innuendos to something sexual. So, viewers, be aware. A black hole is a region in space where gravity is so strong that nothing, including light, can escape it. Black holes are created when massive stars collapse and are the result of matter being squeezed into a tiny space. How are black holes formed, you may ask? What I will tell you this about black holes, right? I believe that Betelgeuse, shout out to Polaris Moon, is a star that is set soon to have to go supernova. And I believe Rigel, the giant blue star that is conjunct my rising, is set to go supernova I believe that Mirage and Andromeda, the reason why I claim Empress status is not because of necessarily Vedic astrology or Western astrology's position, but the fixed star Andromeda of Mirage, which is actually the chained lady, and her mother, who was being very arrogant in how Andromeda got chained up in the first place, is an Ethiopian princess. And the fable goes, there's so many things. Okay, you have, even some people can claim that the Empress could be Eve, set in the Garden of Eden around the star Aldebaran. Okay, which is like 3 or 4 degrees Gemini. Okay, Western. That translates to roughly about, what is that, about 10 degrees Taurus in Vedic astrology or something of that nature, plus or minus a couple degrees. But anyway, being that the chain lady or Mirage, and having a moon in Taurus is exalted, on that position, that's the reason why I am connected. We all have our different reasons, but I don't tend to do things in response. I am, but most people are waiting for a response from me. And the reason why that comes natural is that I'm a generator. If you know anything about human design, and I'm just breaking myself down, and I'm going to go back to this black hole, just rock with me, okay? Just let it happen. In human design, there are several things. There's your design. I'm a generator. Generators are the majority on the planet right now. In about 60 years, it may be projectors. Then after that, or mixed in it, there could be reflectors. Reflectors are very rare because they reflect on things. Projectors are becoming a larger account, and their natural position is to project out. I'm a generator. I generate energy. So it's not my nature to project. It's my nature to generate, and in this case, create from matter, okay? And generate things, okay? That's my design. In there are different profiles. And even though being a generator is one of the most common, I would think, human design paths, it is becoming not the norm as we start to see more and more um, types, okay? What is rare about me is that I am a 6-3 generator, and that is the Martyr and the role model. Role model number being a number 6, and being the Martyr number 3. So generally, what it states, I know people who are 4-6s. That is the opportunist and the role model. Some people are the heretic, and it goes on and on and on. Okay, these are just many ways in which we label, but 6-3s are about 2% as it relates to the profiles, and so they're pretty rare, and there are other very rare profiles as well. Okay, so I believe that I can't remember, but I do know that there are rare profiles. But I am a 6-3. And essentially, we are the most unique because our life is a clusterfuck of a life. Okay, it is absolutely madness. Okay, and this is why you may find a 6-3 wanting and desiring a boring life, becoming jealous and jaded by people who have a simplistic and provided for life. And mind you, my chart makes me predisposed for being lazy because I have really good trines and sextiles. And so I can tend to take too hard and become ultra focused or hyper fixated on my squares and my oppositions, despite the weight of my chart being more of a trine and in sextile. I can become hyper focused on what is a struggle or even event struggles from some maybe defense mechanism. But this also can be denoted in someone who, if you're like me, you are a 6'3". You can be a 6'3" in any type. You could be a 6'3" generator. You could be a six like myself. You could be a 6'3" projector. You could be a 6'3" reflector. You could be let's look at that so that I can. And I'm going to go back to where we were. This all ties in. Okay, so you have reflectors, which are the rarest. You have manifesting generators. I believe that if you guys know who the Leo King is, I believe the Leo King, a amazing astrologer. Um, he's worked with the Peace Dealer. I believe that I don't know if there's a connection between him and Astrolata. If you guys are not familiar with her, um, but I don't know, but the Leo King is well known in the astrology community. It has a great platform here. Has his own platform. That he has out like an app outside of here, outside of YouTube is what I'm saying here. I need to stop saying it like that and assuming that this will just be on YouTube. So my apologies there. And also Instagram, I believe. Okay, but I'm referencing him because he is a manifesting generator, which just so people can understand, the reflectors, the rarest type, known for being open and sensitive and able to support others without absorbing their energy. Fucking A, bro. If I have to reincarnate, I already decided what my human design is going to be. Mine's going to be fucking reflector. That may be the one that gets no fucking, like, no thanks for nothing and shit. But I already have had, like, went through the fucking simulation for that shit. So to not absorb the energy would be fucking fine, because a person with Neptunian energy, and listen, this is how my chart goes. My highest influence is Mercury. Okay, the second to highest, which is not that far behind, is Moon energy. I'm talking about, this is a birth chart reading. This is not what I think. This is not my projection. This is not what I want. This is not my interpretation, which all are fine. Because the reason for this live stream is that we do not have a monopoly on God, which I'm going to get to. You may hear other people around in the room. So be it, okay? We're going to all tie this back together, okay? But me personally, from what point I am terminating my actions from, okay? Not that I feel that I need to explain it, but in order for me to illustrate a point in this live stream, I'm going to, okay? I truly believe that, and then, okay, I was saying Mercury is my highest influence in an actual chart analysis. Moon is the second highest. And I don't even have a lot. No, I just almost lied. I have several. Yeah, I just lied. I have a lot of alignments with my moon. So I was about to lie. And not only that, the things that align with my moon align with other. Okay, whatever. The second highest influence is the moon, and the third highest influence coming in like when I say a .2 differential is Neptune. So for me, when I speak from a mercurial moon or Neptunian energy, it is in respect of me doing my own self love journey of unpacking myself through various measurements. It is not a thing of competition or comparison, because who can I compare myself to? If you do any research on 6'3s or 6'2s, there's not a lot of people that are like us. So we know that, and we can sometimes feel really isolated or even prefer isolation because we don't feel normal in this world. Okay, we don't feel kinship, and it's really hard for us to make friends. But other people want to be our friends, but it's hard for us. We can make, if we want to, we can make other people uber comfortable, and for them, they feel betrayed if we do things that counter to that, just because we have to do a lot in order to accommodate others. Okay, we have to do a lot, and so it would make that person super uncomfortable should we become self-focused, because again, we're not relating on an equal playing field. We're relating to someone else's playing field. So for us to serve ourselves, it inherently doesn't always initially from the jump of starting with self, like serving someone else, right? It, if we're starting from the point of serving someone else then serving ourselves, it becomes a disaster, because essentially when we need to refill, those who we're serving are incapable, because we've not established any instruction, because we don't even know what we need. Does that make sense? I hope that that makes sense. It's almost like we can go in, and a generator, I'm gonna get back to the different profile types. We can go in and we can service other people, and then we feel extremely drained. And in that, isolated, and there could be hundreds of people around us, people calling us every day. We have a party to go to. Me, I'm always invited. That is the strategy. I have to wait to say yes to an invite. I can't always accept invites. I'm used to overextending myself through accepting every invite. So it is not of my nature to send out invitations. I receive a lot of them and end up becoming inundated and overwhelmed from it. Okay. So I'll talk about the strategy in just a moment. But 6 3s or 6 2s specifically, we feel really alone in the world, because there's not a lot of people who can complement that energy or can offer understanding. So what that leads to is sometimes what appears to be a chaotic life of learning and trying different shit and fucking around and finding out. Okay, which is where we come in with the martyrdom of number 3. For me, this as a 6 3, 3 is the martyr and 6 is the role model. The reason why we become role models is that we have so much experience through our life and through doing shit and fucking around. And when I say fucking around, I mean the fuck around. I mean around we fuck. Take that however you may need to. But when I say the fuck around, the fucking is going to be around and around, okay? I mean, we're fucking around. And around we fuck, all right? And we find out. We find out rather quickly before we fuck around too hard. And that lends itself to wisdom, a thing called wisdom. A thing called knowledge. We fuck around because we have the knowledge, right? But they say that knowledge isn't anything until it becomes wisdom, which is the application of knowledge. I mean, you can have all the knowledge of a thing, right? You can fuck around. But it's not until you find out, bitch, that you can apply that knowledge to then call it wisdom. You can listen to someone else say some shit, right? And you can repeat what they say and not be at all conscious that you are a hypocrite because you've not fucked around and you haven't found out. But when you find out, oh, when that ass finds out, you can then expertly apply the knowledge that you've heard, because now you have a visceral experience to help you grasp the knowledge and ground it for wisdom to take its place. Okay? So in that, there's a constant need. And they say that the second profile, so 6 3, the second profile is what you're doing from birth up until the age of 30, 32, I'm sure. It's about, for most people, it's probably up to 32, 33, up until after their Saturn return, because they were fucking around between birth to about 32, 33. So that's the reason why I feel the way I do about marriage. And I'm starting to contemplate if, it's fair, because it's like, fuck, the first half of it, you're going to be old longer than you were young, right? And for the first 33 years of your life, you were fucking around. And so that's why I think a lot of people nowadays are finding out in their 30s about divorce and, that sort of thing. But anyway, that's not why we're here. Here I go with that bullshit. Here, I done started the shit. I was trying not to start the shit. I was trying not to start this goddamn shit. This ADHD that kicked the fuck in, bitch. And let me tell y'all something. Do y'all want me to do what type of ADHD are you per your zodiac sign? Let me know. Let me know. Do you want me to do that? Like, what kind of fuck around and find out are you Aries through fucking Pisces? But anyway, I was not trying to get into this, but now I have levied a bunch of information, and it's this is gonna be a rough fucking life. This is gonna be a rough bitch. I swear to God. Okay, I'm not gonna be here forever because of that. I'm gonna cut this shit short and get to a couple of points that do not connect, and you guys gotta fucking put this shit together. You hear me? Because I'm not gonna do this goddamn shit today with y'all or with me. I got shit to do. We'll be here until goddamn Neptune moves the fuck into Aries fucking around with me, bitch. I'm not doing it. You hear me? Okay, so human design types. We got reflectors. Oh, that's where it's that's where I got lost, bitch. Hold on. I said I was gonna come back as a reflector. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, oh, that's why I was starting to talk about my chart. Because how I be absorbing all the people's shit. Yeah. The moon, the Mercury energy, bitch, and the Neptune. Bitch, I got lost. Oh shit. Okay, look. Okay, this is why I have a time with myself by my goddamn self. You hear me? This is why I'm a good time. Now you see why I get stressed out and why I get invitations, because bitch, this shit is entertaining. I'm entertaining the fuck out of myself. So you know I'm entertaining other people. And then I fuck around and I find out that they like me more than I like them. Ain't that some shit? Anyway, look, check this out. Reflectors, and then you got manifesting generators. Let's see if you motherfuckers are manifesting generators. Let me tell you about them, okay? It's a type with a sacral center. A type with a sacral center and a throat center, okay? Meaning that they have a lot of energy in the sex organs and in the throat. Ooh, y'all nasty. You manifesting. That's why you're manifesting. You generating lust and manifestation. You hear me? They are said to be multi-passionate, I'm sure. Energetic, absolutely. And inspired to create. You damn Skippy. Huh? You out here with your throat goat? And you got the sacral center blasting? You better go. You better go on ahead with your bad self-manifesting generator. I heard the fuck out of that. Anyway, generators. That's me. That's what I am. The most common type, which I told you, I'm a common kind of hoe. Generators are said to make decisions from a center that responds to sound. So we tend to love music. Okay? I am a major listener. Like people get, like they get it twisted. They hear me chitter chatting like I'm doing now. And sometimes I do this to see the effect, to learn a person, to see how they respond to what I'm saying, to read their body language. And then once I shut up, I'm in observation mode. I want to know how the things that I said affected you, or how it changed your opinion or your position. It enhanced your position or your opinion, or it made you more passionate about the contrast of your position to my position. Because in that, I'm able to understand the person by way of removing the blinders that we all put on when we're masking. I hope you caught that T. Manifestors, people who are just the manifestors. One of the 5 energy types in human design. They don't have a lot to say about y'all manifestors. That's crazy. Ain't that shit crazy? They don't give a fuck. And then the projectors, it says one of the 5 energies in human design. Bitch, they don't give a damn. You hear me? Who is this source by Google? Google, you ain't shit for this. Oh, that's no wonder. It's Allure. For the manifestors, Google gathered that from Allure. And then Google gathered the first three from Jovian Archive. So check this out. If Elon Musk and your people are listening to me, baby, Grok could be the one. Do you hear me? Grok could be all it. Make sure you get the throat together for Grok. You hear me? So, because Google out here tripping. Why would you go to see? I'm gonna let you know how important generators are, because generators are the only one that is sourced from Jovian Archive, which is a premier destination to get a human design reading. Jovianarchive.com. That's where I started. Um, and for manifestors and projectors, Google said, fuck y'all. I don't know if Google mad at y'all, baby. I don't know if Google is mad at y'all projectors, because y'all be projecting. You know what I'm saying? Y'all project y'all shit onto other people, and Google is tired of that shit. You feel me? And the manifestors, y'all be talking, oh, I'm manifesting, bitch. Manifesting ain't always a good thing. Because just like you can manifest a good thing, you can manifest a fucked up thing. And I think that, quite frankly, manifestors and projectors are stressing the planet out right now. And Google is just doing, AI is frustrated. Because, AI listens to everything we're doing. And I'm sure that AI has an understanding of who is a manifestor and a projector, because they know everything fucking about you, right? And they are just fed the fuck up. They're just like, bitch, I don't know about these men. Are there, you know what? I wonder if there's a manifesting projector. Ain't that some shit? You think that's going to come online? Anyway, so those are the human design types. You should go and check out your human design. You should do it. You should do it. And yeah. Oh. Here's another one. Okay, hold on. Bitch, they got self-projected. What? Oh, that's an authority. Never mind. Yeah. So then, I wasn't even asking about Elon Musk, but you want to say what Elon Musk is? Human design. I should have known. Elon Musk out there. Oh shit. Hold on. Let's. Born into the life theme of service with a single definition. I'm a single definition. That means we know what the fuck we here to do, bitch. Anyway, Elon Musk is a manifesting generator. That throw goat. Elon be putting that dip down, don't he? That's why he got all that money. That throat is something else. That throat, if Elon Musk puts his mouth or says something about you, you finna be, it's gonna happen. So you better, like, if he say you fucking around and you finna find out, and if, like, you're going to find out, oh my God. Y'all might need to check listen, you might need to check out who the fuck is a manifesting generator. Make sure that, you stay out the way. If you got an unreal opinion about them, just make sure they don't know who the fuck you are. Okay? Because bitch, I don't know. Anyway, especially when somebody is here to do service for the world. Like, people, okay, let me say this. God damn it, I can't stop. I can't. I don't have control over the thing. Once the thing gets going, it's going. Huh? We're on it. We're moving. Once the train leaves the station, bitch, there's only a hard stop. There's not a slow down. You hear me? So here we go. What the fuck was I going to say though? But okay, manifestation. Yes, service. Most people want to be millionaires and billionaires. They're trying to ride the wave. At best, these people will end up being millionaires. You know who the billionaires are? Shout out to KRS motherfucking astrology. That is my nigga right there. He is not a black man, but he is a black man. Catch that T. KRS astrology. He is not a nigga, but he is a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Catch that T if you know about who KRS astrology is, okay? I can't tell if he's a Scorpio in Vedic, because I know he's a Scorpio, but I don't know if that means he's a Scorpio Vedic or Jyotish or a Scorpio in Western. It depends on the type of Scorpio he is. If he's like a early degree Scorpio in Vedic, then he could technically still be a Scorpio in Western. but very scorpionic, because Scorpios take a lot of photographs and a lot of video. You would think that that's Neptunian and Pisces. The attraction to images, museums, going to view something, going off in a remote place to capture. The control of media may be Piscean or 12th house. But the eye paying attention to detail, the actual apparatus of the eye seeing the detail, which is like why Scorpios have piercing eyes, or they can even have eye conditions. Okay? It's always something with the eyes with Scorpio. Okay? And if they don't have eyes, or if they blind as a motherfucker, they still can see your bitch ass. They can see you. Taurus can smell you. Scorpio can see you. And if a person has both placements, God help your soul. Okay? Um, he talked about the billionaires. The billionaires are here, and they most of the time are billionaires because they provide a solution. They're not looking to be wealthy. They're not looking to be abundant. They're not looking to do a certain thing that gains them riches. Does everyone want to be comfortable and have a touch of luxury and wealth, or the security of it? Absolutely. Okay, absolutely. Unless you already have that kind of money and you want to play vagabond because your whole life you've had a silver spoon in your mouth, then maybe that's the exception, right? It's like the Olsen twins when they want to look like fucking, you know what I'm saying, heroin addicts, or fucking, you know what I'm talking about, like goddamn crackheads on the street. They've had money so long that this is how they get their kicks on Route 66, and that's looking like an impoverished, hungry bitch. You know what I'm talking about? So there's that, right? But in most of the time, the billionaire mindset is not a mindset of how can I go out here and get the bag. That's people who will barely make a million, or barely hold on to a million, or have to work really hard to keep those millions, as inflation and the you know, the value of a dollar goes like crazy. And now being a millionaire, at least under 10 million, is upper middle class, you know, now. So shit, 10 million used to look like a billion to people, but it's not the same anymore. But a billionaire that is concerned with making the planet better for humanity in some kind of way, is concerned with a thing that they have found worrisome or bothersome, and in creating a solution for a said thing that they found bothersome to them, whether it is lack of food from droughts in the land, coming up with groundbreaking science that helps with growing produce, and enhancing the agriculture industry, or making it more green so that it takes up less of a carbon footprint, or hell, inventing toilet paper, you know, making toothpaste easily accessible. Like, it's something that is a service. A janitor is closer to being a billionaire than a person who's in a business suit on Wall Street. Because at any moment, they can take the information from cleaning up our shit, and through that, ascertain a level of conflict resolution, because that is the most common denominator: eating and shitting, screwing and producing children, and dying and paying taxes. So someone who deals with our shit, which is a very Scorpio energy, which is why Scorpio represents purity, or the eighth house represents the ability to purify, cleanse oneself of one's waste, detox, if you will. Someone who is working in waste management and sanitation services, they will tell you what most people are affected by, and that's anxiety and depression, because that's the number one drug found in fecal matter that they collect from the fucking waste management plants. Very scorpionic thing. It's in the shit. You know, we had a river in Memphis called the Wolf River. That thing stunk to high hell, because I think it was like a sanitation river. So you didn't want to get caught off up in the Wolf River. But anyway, it was like a wolf. It smelled like wolf ass. You know what I'm talking about? But anyway, that is the the understanding of humanity is the lowest common denominator, and it's through making analysis from that place of what is the most common denominator that one is able to create a solution that would then fulfill the needs of society well past one's community. We're talking about well past one's nation, and to being able to service all nations, creeds, sexes, colors, and ages. That is the common denominator of the billionaires. So when you look down on being of service, or being a martyr, if you will, or being a role model, if you will, then you are a person who is in that is incapable of holding space for billionaire energy. You cannot partner with a billionaire. You are of no use to a billionaire, and you don't have the capacity to hold space to maintain billions of dollars. Because whatever it is that you're on only serves your own selfish purpose, which limits your value to just you, your whims and your desires. And it excommunicates the whims and desires and needs of others. There's a good chance that you're not fulfilling your needs, which is why you're ravished with desires in the first place. Catch all of that tea, catch it. Let it happen. Just let it happen, okay? Let's get back to Elon Musk, though. Born into the life theme of service with a single definition, manifesting generator design, sacral has sacral authority. I have sacral authority. I can pop that pussy on any nigga. You know what I'm saying? Sacral is your reproductive energy. And I have a strong sacral center with emotional authority. So popping this pussy brings people to an emotional place. And I can get in there, get to you, and get up and get myself out of there. You feel me? That's how we do it around here. But Elon has a sacral authority and has a 3-5 profile, okay? Which I think, isn't that heretic martyr? So Elon be out here martyring. And his martyr is later in life. Like he be putting his, no matter what you feel about Elon, listen, when this motherfucker told you I'm putting it on the line, I'm putting billions on the line, he means it in every which way. A 3-5 is unfucking deniable. Okay? Fuck what you talking about, bitch. Because I can hear your arguments. From my side of the political spectrum, I hear you, boo-boo. But when you are a 3-5 profile, it is undeniable that he is taking one for the team. That's some gangster ass shit, bro. And you mean to tell me you trying to be a billionaire and you ain't got you a coward asshole? I don't want to have an argument face to face kind of hoe, but you want to be a billionaire. I don't want to risk nothing. I want to be safe. I don't want to go talk to the girl. I want to make sure the girl like me first. You want to be one of them, but you want to hold space to be a billionaire. You have no ability to hold space to ease anybody else's pain, but you want everyone to value you highly. Woo! Let's talk about it. Okay, praise God for the ADHD and the Gemini rising, the mercurial leadership, okay, and management of the chart. Huh? You want to be valuable to everyone, but you have not curated, nor have you managed to develop in yourself the ability to be of value and of service to anyone, right? Wow. You want people to be vulnerable to you, but you don't want... Hold on. Okay? Because what's more vulnerable than putting hundreds of billions of dollars on the line? My God, today. Elon, and I'm not making him out to be a saint or an angel. You could be just as diabolical with this. If a motherfucker's a diabolical motherfucker with a 3-5, that is very dangerous. We're talking a kamikaze pilot for the team. You would want him on the team. You don't want him as an enemy kind of shit, especially with that 5. I believe the Leo King is like 5'1" or something. They consider to be they govern. You're not governing them. They are governed by their own fucking whims. And if that is batshit crazy, then so the fuck it is, bitch. You hear me? Who are you? No, the fuck body. I'm the one out here providing solutions, not you. Fuck out my face. Kind of energy that you get with the fives, you know? Yes, it gives big God complexity. It does. But I'm just saying, I'm just kind of giving you a breakdown of it, okay? In the most unorthodox way possible. Elon Musk has found ways to apply his gifts. Check this shit out. Check, clock this T. Clock this T real quick. Elon Musk has found ways to apply his gifts and energy into services, clock this T, bitch, and industries that others tend to overlook. Oh, I almost dropped the motherfucking iPad right there, bitch. Drop the mic. That others tend to overlook. Bitch, just get it. Get into it. Get the fuck into it. Okay, get into it. My God. Bitch, can you taste the rainbow? Get into the Skittles, okay? So, Elon is a martyr heretic, okay? A 3-5. I heard the fuck out of that. So, to you, if you don't remember, you just got to reverse this bitch, and what you might have to do is speed it up to 1.25 if I'm talking too slow for you, or you're gonna have to knock it down to 0.75 as it relates to the playback speed. It should be in your little gears on this YouTube thing, okay? A little cog wheel, if you will, that like it provides the settings. Bitch, fuck y'all. Anyway, because you know, you should be paced with my pace by now. The fuck? Anyway, let's look at profile in human design. This is your identity, identity. So you're who you are on a deep level, and your nature. So the profiles starts with investigator martyr, which is a 1-3. 1-4 is an investigator opportunistic person. A 2-4 is a hermit opportunistic person. A 2-5 is a hermit heretic. A 3-5, as we discussed, Elon Musk is a martyr heretic. A 3-6 is a martyr role model. So the flip of a 6-3, they become a martyr later in life, even though they may have been on the student government council. You know what I'm saying? They could have been president of SGA in their youth. They become a martyr in their later life, a saint, if you will, a nun, a priest, or someone who has dedicated their life to yoga or being a yogi. Okay, someone of that nature who sacrifices more than they receive, or at least it appears that way when they're receiving more of their gifts from an ethereal spiritual place. Okay, a 4-6 is an opportunistic role model. Okay, role model in their youth, very much like I just explained, and they become more opportunistic as they get older. They have the wisdom to spot the opportunities and they take advantage of them. Okay, you have a 4-1, which is an opportunistic investigator, a 5-1, which is a heretic hermit. Okay, a 5-2, which that doesn't make sense. The 5-2, how is a 5-1? No, a 5-1 is a heretic investigator. The fuck? A heretic investigator, sorry. 5-2 is a heretic hermit. A 6-2 is a role model hermit. So this person likes to lay back. They are wanting, they might be on Instagram taking pictures and all that, but these bitches really like to be by themselves. They like to play like they are people person, but they have a very, very, very short fucking social battery. So do not believe the hype, especially if they have what seems to be like maybe zodiac energy that tells you that they're like, an extrovert. Do not fall for it. This bitch like to be in a corner talking to God. They could be the absolute devil. They are talking to God. And it's a good chance if they're the hermit that they realize that Both are the same. Oh, I said too much. Okay, let's move on because some people might not be able to take it. Y'all sensitive as fuck out here, okay? And then the final profile and identity is role model Martyr, myself, 6'3", okay? So these are the human designs, right? And as such, we're going to move back and talk about black holes. We're going to suck everything in. And in the black hole, when I said something about being ambivalent or being someone who's altruistic for yourself, right? And how that extends to others by being so, and how can you be so for self? So when one is understanding of all that they need, them acting on the person who they want to become means that they have to deal in delayed gratification. But that altruistic act of saving money, not responding to someone baiting them in argument, putting someone else first because it helps to generate a relationship that could be very important because of the shared ideals, even if that means that one has to sacrifice first. Not that they're sacrificing for the other person, but more or less they are demonstrating to the other person that they have a value, which then ultimately allows for them to have their goals satisfied. It's still terminating from a place of taking care of oneself first, even if it appears that they are martyring themselves for another. Okay? At the core of it, there is some self interest. It is quite the first thing we learn is the most natural thing. And so when we move away from cultivating our self-interest properly, this is why we get into the wrong relationships. This is why we become competitive. This is why we are insecure in comparison to other people, because we have successfully walked away from knowing how, or walking down the road of finding what actually pours into ourselves. And we have concerned ourselves so much with pouring outside of ourselves in comparison to other people. Okay? Contrary to that popular belief, a black hole is absorbing everything. And what a black hole is, it is a supernova. What is a supernova? It is a dying star. So there's one thing to be a star, but when you die, you explode and then you implode. Now you have some that just become nebulous, which they explode, but they don't quite fully implode. They do not become a black hole. A black hole creates a wormhole. It is in theory that in order to get from one side of our solar system to the next, you would want to, or to exit the solar system to explore another solar system, because of the distance you would need to find a wormhole or a black hole to travel through, because of its magnitude as far as gravity and its ability to collapse time and space, which is why I said doing something altruistic for self may on the surface appear that it doesn't benefit you at all, but what it actually does is that it benefits you in the past and in the present by way of you honoring what you would have liked someone had to have done for you, or paying it forward based on what someone has done for you from the past. You honor that person by being altruistic in the future to yourself, or altruistic in the present, which then sets up the future of gains and relationships that you've developed, where you may be going through it in the present. In the future, you've now navigated and built relationships that help insulate your core passions, drives, and concerns for yourself, for your community, and for the worldwide. But you have to be honest with self in order to be of any good service to someone else, because that requires a level of intimacy and intimate knowledge of self, which comes from people who are reflective, which takes me to why, in the next lifetime, I would like to know what it is like on whatever dimension, in a comfortable position, to be more of a reflector, in a position of authority where I don't have to navigate this terrain very harshly, but I'm able to be of great grand service to the world, or the dimension I'm in, by reflecting, which means I don't absorb people's nastiness, but yet I still have the full capacity to execute the things that I'm here to do. Okay, that's gonna grow over time, but that would be, if I had a choice, that would be something I would put into the program system for my next life. Okay, which means that this life must be well lived and well rich, bitch. You hear me? So, a black hole is what used to be a star, but now is a mega system of transportation and knowledge, and the ability to see oneself in the present, in the past, and in the future, and to act according, to communicate with self in the past, present, or future. You might be the person that prayed for yourself, according to my theories around the black hole doctrine we can apply to ourselves. You may have had a kind act of service that saved you in the nick of time in the past, and you were like, God was really with me, and God was. But little did you know, it was you praying for yourself in the future, which set up the perfect circumstances for that energy to meet you in the past and to save your life in the future. So, if anything, to maintain and to derive the most from this black hole simulation, being present and being internal is a very important attribute, which means that one isn't competing or comparing or waiting for a response from other people, but rather waiting for the internal reaction from one's environment and observation. Okay? So, in that, nature, especially if you have these sorts of stars that are on the list of supernovas that are coming up. A supernova is incredible. If you think a star is something, you think the sun is something, a supernova is something quite spectacular. It's very rare and it doesn't happen often, which is why it's such a big deal. And different than any star, because it gives us evidence of the expansion of the universe. It is creation. It was most likely a supernova or a chain reaction of supernovas as to why our solar system today exists. In some dimensional sense of a past, a present, and future. So sip that tea too. Okay? You are very much in this space of Murphy's Law, where if it can happen, if it can happen, it will happen. That by taking this time to do self-reflection with me in this space of no one has monopoly of God. We understand that no one has monopoly over you. No one has monopoly over your access to God. And that is a promise, that is a birthright given through your free will. A free will to understand why ye are like gods, or in this case, goddesses. And to encroach on someone else's experience denotes that you have not, and we all do this, we don't realize that ye are like gods. And in that, we are not taking responsibility for how we are co-creating with the universe. That we must be very much like those who hate us or who create obstacles for us, for them to exist in our energy field. Rarely, if not never, will you pick up an energy, especially as a tarot reader, that isn't your own energy. In some way, shape, form, or fashion. It may not be in the same act of violence or the same act of kindness, but somewhere it exists in you in a different form. And so you attracting or being attracted to that energy denotes that there's a similarity between you and it, which then makes jealousy and comparison and competition quite stupid. But not competition, but the sperm compete for the egg. So it's very natural for us to compete. But to feel bad because we didn't win, to feel bad that we are not the other person, to feel as though we don't have the ability to attain the things that we aren't the greatest at yet. That is a personal decision. Jealousy is a personal decision, and it is the evidence of laziness. It is the evidence of lack of being able to problem solve, and it is, quite frankly, a very human and common trait. So, in that, locating why you're jealous or identifying that you are jealous or you are understimulated and you're looking for ways to pick yourself apart by creating arguments with other people. In identifying that, you make yourself valuable to others because you're able to find a solution in your own madness and in your own self-sabotage. And it's through that finding a solution for it that you're able to give advice to others that is of value and that does produce tangible results, whether that be spiritually, mentally, physically, or emotionally. These are your gurus. These are your people who are revered. That people are speaking about them, good or bad, in rooms that they've not entered, unbeknownst to the other person and not of concern to the other person, because that person's just existence provides medicine. Despite the fact they may feel like they are the most ill individual, they're ill in the fact that they are so good, because what they find in solution for themselves is invaluable to the world. These are your gods and goddesses. This is the God essence. And no one person's perspective, not myself either, as the illustrator and the narrator of this talk right now. I don't even have a monopoly over God or goddess. So with that knowledge and with all of those things said on this Wednesday, on this Mercury day, I implore you to think outside the box. Who are you calling a witch when you recite the Psalms and you point your finger and you got artificial nails on your tippy toes and your fingernails, which are like little magical wands? And when you're reciting a thing and pointing at the camera, you are, in fact, saying a spell and directing it to your audience. How dare you call someone else a witch when you read from a Bible, which is a living, a testament of a living magic, a living majestic thing. Magic, majesty. When you are a follower of Christ, the ultimate magician. Tell me, you turning water to wine? How is that not magic? How is that not sorcery? Just because we find divinity in it doesn't make it any less than magic. So today I implore you to expand yourself by examining what you structure around God. And in having respect for yourself, realizing that you and only you would be limiting and monopolizing God through your own ignorance, bigotry. Finally, I want to leave you with this, okay? No matter where you are, and not to appease anyone because they are trans or gay. Fuck y'all too. This is an equal opportunity offense here. Fuck y'all because I grow chin hair. You understand? And I have hormones of a raging teenager and an out of control grandmama at the same fucking time. And you, how dare you bitch, have a better shape than me, better makeup than me, you fucking whore, you. And a better selection of men and women, you greedy. You're greedy. You a cunt, if you will. Fuck you very much, right? How you out here 70,000 years old, born as a stinking ass man, and all you smell like is Muggler's angel, as if you descended from heaven. Fuck you. Okay? But with that said, how can you be so much of a bigot, and then claim to be an intelligent person when you know through some of you personal knowledge and involvement that the things that you are calling gay people or trans people, that you got bent over by a 6'3" looker while you were at the Republican National Convention. And they didn't peg you with a strap on. It was an attached member. And some of you even called and set the appointment up for the senator, who is the loudest in the room about trans men, trans women, and gay people. When you have people in this party who have sodomized their sons brutally, and I'm not even trying to be funny here, have taken up for people who have trafficked other people. When you know your homeboy has a couple of things that he's interested in you about. When you have intimate knowledge that your husband looks at tranny porn and male-on-male gangbangs according to his Pornhub history. With all of this knowledge, when you know that you yourself invite women into your bedroom, into your married bedroom, so that you can actually have an orgasm as a woman. When you have intricate knowledge of these very taboo things, not only that, you are a historian which understands that in the Greek civilizations, how men slept with men. The great conquerors of the world kept feminized men with them because there wouldn't be a distraction of pregnancy. When you have intimate knowledge in Jewish and Muslim countries, right? I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there right now because it doesn't have to get that deep. I think I've made my point. You have intimate knowledge of these things, but yet you're running on a narrative, especially if you are a social media influencer and you made a lot of money talking to a man who is called the booty bandit, right? That person coming onto your panel, even if you paid them, earned you money and graced your platform, who happens to be gay or bisexual, and shared in detail intimate information about his relations with men, which generated a lot of viewership, a lot more viewership than even you talking against women, which is very strange, huh? Which then denotes something else, which means that Jacked, or was it Grindr, who said that their site went up to 330% engagement during the Republican National Convention in the area around the Republican National Convention of 2024, that there were a lot of male-on-male traffic at this time. how can you then position yourself to have such a harsh, unnatural to your nature opinion of people who you say are covered by an alternative lifestyle? How can you have this opinion when you yourself don't just hire hookers, but dominatrixes to peg you, which means that you physically release seminal fluid in the most glorious of ways, being dominated by a woman with a 12-inch strap on, banging you into oblivion up against your prostate via your anus. And you put your clothes, take a shower, put your clothes back on, and go out into the world and spew hatred and intolerance for women in such a way that there is a loss of funding to AIDS activism councils, committees, that Zimbabwe is having a condom shortage. And because of the extreme poverty of the people in Zimbabwe, the women and men resort to sex work for survival. And with limited condoms, they are starting to use baby socks as an apparatus. Listen, you don't enjoy something you have to do to survive. Let me say that again. You don't enjoy something you have to do to survive. This isn't you getting your kicks on Route 66. This doesn't free you. If anything, this is a means to an end. Okay? So please try to hold your judgments back. If anything, if you must judge anything, judge the people who have such critical judgments. The party that housed the Reagans, and it is stated and well documented who Nancy Reagan is. But yet you guys are picking Michelle Obama apart. How many times has now President Trump been unaccompanied by Melania? And you had no smoke for Melania. But as soon as Michelle was less than perfect, she's all kinds of Michaels, all kinds of bitches and hoes. Corey did a disgusting thing last night. Completely just, and I don't even want to go there. A comedian by the name of Corey. How can you quantify and solve for such savagery in comparison to the alternative that you claim to support? I don't know if it's true, but there's a huge rumor around Hollywood, because you know that Ronald Reagan was an actor, that before Nancy and Ronald were put together, Ronald was in fact of the Rainbow Coalition allegedly, and Nancy was a throat goat, you know, that throat center. Okay, that's allegedly. I don't know if it's true, but it's in her unofficial memoir where she tells stories. And so with this knowledge and knowledge that you have of so many humans, I'm not judging her, humans. I'm not judging her because, quite frankly, sex work is work. These men say the bitch slept to the top as if having sex is easy. Having sex and not having an orgasm is work. Fucking people you're not naturally attracted to is work. So quite frankly, if I fuck 20 niggas to become the CEO, I am the most valuable bitch in that whole organization because everybody was a happy customer. How many bosses you know are getting you off? The bitches rarely give you an off day. So if I fucked and sucked 1,000 men, I am the MVP of this motherfucker. Stop sleeping on women, and women wouldn't have to sleep to the top. And instead, we would have an allyship instead of the fall of relationships. You mean to tell me I done pleased all the anchors? They done touched my titties. I done sucked this man off. And y'all mad at me that I expect to be compensated? Fuck out of my face. You want to be a thief. You want to take something off my body that is not something you can monopolize, because you should not be monopolizing God. And if I was created in God's image, male or female, then how dare you take some or expect something from me, and we're not betrothed to one another, and you don't expect me to want to be compensated in return. You as a man, you want to fuck me, but you mad because I want more. When I was performative and probably didn't even come. Damn sure didn't cream or squirt. So you definitely wasn't doing a 112 on me. But I just did, you know what I'm saying, a Faith Evans for you. The fuck out of here. Y'all are really reaching. That's why these hoes be clicking the fuck out on you and trying to get you fired and trying to get your business leveled, because you don't have the right value system of what the fuck it is that you're asking to have access to. Do you realize that if you don't bust a nut, that shit can hurt you downstairs? So somebody gonna lend you their body, their sacred center. Just because you don't value your dick and you busting a nut don't mean that the woman is supposed to inherently not value that for herself, because she got a lot more to lose letting you inside of her than you got to lose. So how dare you demolish the power and the importance to women that is? You should be more appalled if a woman is giving sex away to you. You should be running from that, because if that bitch is giving you sex and don't expect nothing in return, that's potentially a very diseased vagina, because that bitch is an idiot operator. Okay? You don't get to put a monopoly on God. It don't say she who finds a husband has found a good thing. It says he that finds a wife that is suitable for him has found a great thing. And that is coming from a patriarchal written text. So even in that, the elder of men, who most likely didn't even sleep with women, told you that to find a good wife is a thing of beauty. You don't get to have a monopoly over God. You cannot compete where you do not compare. The conversation is different than yours. The elevation is different. The altitude is much higher up here. You got to bring an oxygen mask in this bitch. Huh? Welcome to the Mile High Club. I hope that we all now, even if you're in disagreement with me, have a good grasp, if you will, on the gravity of the subjects that we have broached today. And in that gravity, we understand the physics of our conversation. We understand the physics of our actions. And we understand the thermodynamic integral alchemy of who and what our world is transforming us into based on our view of the world. Okay? And last but not least, we're able to grasp the prior kinetic energy of our words and what they produced in other people, and how we are intricately involved in either creating or destroying the very matrix that provides us everlasting life and connects us to the divine that we do not have a monopoly over. In other words, I'm not calling a thing bad or good. But what I am saying is don't expect me to have trust for you when you are lying to yourself and others about your involvement and or your hatred of a thing that in truth and reality you're doing behind the scenes or you're turning a blind eye to, just so that you can be a part of the game. It's very dangerous to trust people who cannot trust themselves with their own truth. Okay? You do not have a monopoly of God. Last but not least, people want to talk about Iona and Ishtar. Did you know Hatshepsut, why y'all like to talk about women who have a couple of chin hairs, was a very effective Egyptian pharaoh, despite being a queen, who is said to have either grown a beard or glued one to her face. Her kingdom loved her. Iona and Ishtar was said to not just be worshipped by women in the priestess cults or priestess temples, but even favored by men. And it's even stated that one of her supernatural powers was the ability to turn a woman into a man and a man into a woman because of their angelic origin, which meant that they contained both. So I said all of that to say this. You don't have a monopoly on God. You don't even understand in full throttle God's most foolish self. So who are you to not say that trans people or gay people are not a fail-safe for human production? Meaning that who are you to not say that it's not the hand of God that made available effeminated men due to the pressures of patriarchy on women? Who's it for you to say that women are not masculine as a response in order to survive due to the toxicity of the and rigidness of the patriarchal system? And that this is merely a response to an injury, like scar tissue is to a wound. Here are you, someone who wants to be in leadership, and you expect me to follow you, and you are so gung-ho on being gang that you fail to acknowledge the medical necessity of wound care and the presence of scar tissue as a response. Scar tissue is basically a bandage formed through the coagulation of blood cells and plasma in order to cover an injury, but it never will. It essentially can also create a situation where there is a problem in the matrix of the skin binding to itself if there's too much of it present. Scar tissue is present because of an injury that has been either created or sustained over and over and over again. Very much like a callus, the hardening of skin that should be soft because of a repeat injury. So if we can acknowledge scar tissue in a wound, and we can acknowledge callus on the hands and feet, then how can you then turn a blind eye to the callus and the scar tissue in humanity through the injuries sustained? How can you acknowledge a wound on a single human being and the response to that wound, but not acknowledge the overarching response to humanity as a whole unit of the same likeness? Seems illiterate, doesn't it? Seems as though one has the inability to comprehend what they are seeing and reading, right? Right. So, hopefully, in this black hole moment, in this episode of Murphy's Law, you're able to make connections with very extensive and broad and what seems to be unconnectable factors of our life. And maybe you've learned something new. And at the very least, I've helped you or inflamed you enough for you to find argument that is intellectually sound, that it will destroy my position and in turn offer me an opportunity to grow intellectually too. Okay? This is your girl, Nala-Ife, also known as Nala the Neptunian. And I love you very much. Fuck you very much as well. And I hope that you enjoyed the messages here in Murphy's Law today. Y'all have a good one. Peace.